Well, some of you have been asking what my t-shirt says, so I will show you. For some of you who can't read it, it says, I made the naughty list and I regret nothing. My New Year's resolution this year is we're going to have fun. Good one to start with, yes. I'm sorry, I'm getting a call from somebody. I really need to take this. Excuse me a minute. My phone is ringing. Hello? Hello, this is God. Yes, sir. Should I say yes, madam? Makes no difference. You sent a prayer? Yes, I did. May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be pleasing for all as I speak today. If you speak from your heart, they will. We've been practicing the 4 stages of Advent: faith, peace, love, and joy. Good. But are you ready for the new year? I believe so, but what do we do? Well, walk your talk by using the 5 unity principles daily. What should we look forward to then? Making New Year's resolutions to follow your dreams. Anything else? Yes. Let me say, Happy New Year to all by believing in faith, peace, and joy and love. Oh, okay. Thank you, God. Call from God. My New Year's resolution you've found out already, but have you made yours? New Year's resolutions are kind of fun, and so that's what I'm going to talk about today. New Year's resolutions are a popular way to set goals for the year ahead and improve your life. Now, according to the static poll, the most popular New Year's resolutions in the United States are, for 2025, save more money. I like that one. Exercise more. I'll work on that one. And eat healthier. But then, according to the ABC News article I read, only 80% of people will lose track of their goals in the month of February. So beware of the eyes of February. Now, there's a difference between a resolution, a New Year's resolution, and a goal. And a New Year's resolution is just a wish. But goals need specific information. And so as you're planning out your New Year's resolution, get a paper and pencil ready because you will want to write them down. Be specific. The more details you have on your goal, the more easier it is to follow. By writing it down, though, it's a statement of intent. And this is the things that are going to help you make your New Year's resolution possible. Now, the second stage is measurability. Now, sit down, maybe in a meditation and prayer, and subconsciously accept your goal or your New Year's resolution, whatever you may call it. I like to use a calendar to keep track of it. That way, every day, I can check off, yep, made it that one. Yeah, I was at the gym that day. So it's important to keep track of things. Also, I use my phone. Set a date and time. Take your pills at that hour. I want to be a healthier person. But then also, you could use denials and affirmations that you learned here at Unity to keep track of things. I deny this has power over me. I affirm this to be so. And so as you're creating your measurability, write yourself some denials and affirmations. Now make sure they're attainable. These goals are obtainable. Setting challenging goals is important. Goals should be challenged, should be achievable. However, if one of my goals is to lose 1,000 pounds, it probably ain't going to happen. That or I'm leaving the planet. Also, your goals should be relevant. Align your goals with your purpose. That's why it's maybe important to sit down with the 5 principles, as God talked about. And track your progress. Regularly track your progress. At the end of the week, you might say, all right, I went to the gym 3 times. I looked at my budget 4 times this week. Whatever is part of your goal, make sure you keep track of it. And then at the end, reward yourself. Time bound is an important phase of this. Make sure you hold yourself accountable. But then at the end, when you do achieve your goal, I lost my 20 pounds this week, celebrate it. Celebrate it with a friend, celebrate it with yourself, maybe celebrate it with a little small dish of ice cream. But it's important to embrace your growth. Goals are a progress of who you are and what you're about. And as you gain new experiences and new understandings, be aware of these changes. Change your thought, change your life. That's what's going to happen. Now, there is a difference. I want to share with you some easy ways for you to obtain your goals. One is, it's an easy, as I said, sit down with a paper and pencil, or get yourself a journal. I like journaling because I can write down what I am thankful for. I am grateful for being able to get out and walk in the early morning. I am grateful for the sunrise as I got to the gym before the sunrise that morning. Grateful is a part of your mental and physical wellness. And so as you write this out, you will be aware of things that are changing. Be grateful for those changes. Make time for family. I've been talking to my kids, and I want to make sure that I talk to them at least once a week. Because in sitting and talking to my youngest, she said, "How old is your sister?" I had no idea. And as I began to think about it, she turned 90 2 years ago. So I need to go back and celebrate that with her. Also, your family is unity. Several of you have made a commitment to talk to 3 people every day. I really appreciate getting those calls. I appreciate your going out and willing to call me, to check on me, see how it is. So I challenge you to do the same if that's what you would like to do. Call 3 people every day. Family, friends, unity folks. We talked about how hard it is to keep to a budget, but a budget doesn't mean you're not spending money. Especially here at Unity. Make sure if you put yourself on a budget, you include Unity or donations to other groups, the food bank, the animal shelters, and so on and so forth. Be mindful of your spending is what I'm saying. Be mindful means practicing mindfulness is doing everything you can to be grateful for what you have in the moment. As I'm eating that saltine cracker back there, drooling over the top of that chocolate cake, I'm thinking thankful I had the power to not really want that. Maybe I put a little cheese on that cracker, or pretend it's a Ritz and not a saltine. Cook new foods. Now, I promised myself I would eat more vegetables. You know, those green things. Well, I've had salad 3 days already this week. That's getting closer. But the one thing that hasn't hit the list yet is kale. My sister-in-law brought some in and she took it home with her, and I said, "Phew, I thought I was going to have to taste it." Now, my mother loved New Year's resolutions. She would write them down. Sometimes she would have them in a journal, and then she'd put them in a basket. And then about 3 or 4 months later, she'd pull them out. She reviewed them. Most of the time, however, when she got done reading them, she answered them with cliches. A bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. Everybody remember that one? She'd say that at least I saved $10. I didn't make my goal of 20. If you don't succeed, try again. I remember my mother saying that. As I was coming off the wrestling mat, losing my first match in over 20 different matches. She said, "This is a lesson to be learned. Try again." All that glitters is not gold. If we didn't get our allowance that month, we probably got a big hug. All that glitters is not gold. And so she shared that love with us. Reading between the lines. I'll be going along and I'll get stuck if I'm writing something and I'm thinking, all right, where did this character go? He fell off. Go back and read between the lines. Now, I think this is Peggy's favorite. Someone woke up at the wrong side of the bed this morning. I think my mother's too, especially if I didn't want to go do my chores. You can't judge a book by its cover. I have met so many nice people in life that their cover did not fit my image of who they were. But once I got to know them, they were such beautiful people. Time heals all wounds. Anybody ever say that to you after you broke up a relationship? I think that was one of my dad's things as we stood in the field. Time heals wounds, my son. There will be others. Where there is a will, there's a way. Oh, I use that one frequently, especially if I'm trying to do a project for Peggy, and I can't get that picture to hang right. I know there's a willingness to get this done, but I'm still trying to find the way to get there. Think outside the box. If I'm stuck on something, I'll get up and go for a walk. Get a different perspective. Look at the problem in a different way. Or grab the bull by the horns. Hopefully it's not a real bull, but you never know. Every cloud has a silver lining. This is my oldest sister's favorite saying. Every cloud has a silver lining. And sometimes I have to look pretty hard to find that lining, but eventually it does show up. There is no I in team. That's what the coach said. But then he put in his favorite players, and I was not one of them. And I'm using this one right now, and I need to work on this one harder. I got a plate full. I'm grateful for that plate full, but maybe I need to sit down and not do everything for everybody all the time. I think there was clapping from the front seat here. Well, I would like to go over the 5 unity principles for you, those that are you or new. They are in your bulletin. They're on the back side, I think, of the bulletin. So, however, I like to use my hand because as I'm going along daily, I forget what those principles are, and so I can use my hand to remember what they are. 1, there's only one presence and one power in the universe. God is the creator of all, present in everything and everywhere. The force of love, wisdom, that underlines all existence. 1. 2, I'm made in that divine image. As a human being, I'm having that spiritual experience. I am God's image, therefore I inherit good. 3, thoughts held in mind. We use this frequently. Thoughts are creative power. Thoughts determine events and attract experiences. Keep that in mind. Thoughts held in mind. Change your mind, change your life. 4, prayer and meditation. If you can set yourself upon a regimen of meditation, maybe first thing in the morning, last thing at night, whatever it is, take 5 minutes to center yourself. Because prayer is aligning yourself with spirit and increasing your awareness of spirit is always present. And number 5, it's not enough to just know these truths. It's important to use these truths. Put wings on your prayer. Take action. Just don't do it all the time, because my plate is full. Now, Peggy and I have been watching this show, and so I would like to challenge you to learn one thing this year that's different. It can be a part of your New Year's resolution or just something you always wanted to know. Well, like I started to say, Peggy and I have been watching this show, and it's called You Cannot Ask That. It's on Netflix, and I think it's been repeated from an ABC special. It gets to the point of asking outrageous, uncomfortable, shocking questions to uncover the truth behind some of the most marginal, misunderstood people in the world. It addresses perceptions and misperceptions on questions we always wanted to ask, but were afraid to do so. The first one we watched was for the blind people. They were asked, do you see darkness all the time? You'd be surprised what they answered. Do you run into things frequently? No more than anybody else. Do you hold a job? Do you have a degree? On this show, there was a doctor. There was a lawyer. Many of them with high degrees. In fact, the lawyer ran his own company, and he memorized many of the laws. And so when he was at court, the judge says, I'd rather have you here than anybody else. Down syndrome. What do you ask? What do you talk about to a Down syndrome child? One of the questions they ask, would you like to date? They all said yes. They love hugs. They like being around people. They just love in that present moment. They also said, would you like to have a family? Many of them said yes. A couple of them said, no, I couldn't handle that. Would you want children? Yes. And the question came up, are those children there to take care of you? No. Could a young 2-year-old take care of me as an adult? So it's some fantastic questions they're asking, and I know I learned a lot by just watching those first 2 episodes. Some of the other separate episodes that I've written down were suicide attending survivors, people that survived from an attempted suicide. What do you ask somebody? Did you learn anything from it? Will you do it again? What caused you to go that route? I'm not a psychiatrist, but some of those could get pretty deep fast, I think. Recent war vets, those coming back from Afghanistan and Iraq. What do you talk about to them? I know we thank them for their service, but there's more behind that. Would you go again? Is there a fear? Do you have PTSD? All those questions that we always wanted to ask. Facial differences. Now, it could be something that has distorted your face, a cleft palate, missing an ear, or it could be something as simple as somebody with a different color. Those questions we always wanted to ask. Children of the same sex parents. I have a nephew and a niece that are in that situation. They have been so loving and caring to their 2 children. It is remarkable. However, I would like to sit down and talk to them and find out, how was it for you? What made you decide you wanted to adopt? Now, this one fits in all our boats. It's called Centurions. Do we know how to talk to each other? Some days, yes, some days, no. I remember my son coming to me and saying, hey, Dad, I can't talk to your parents. All they want to talk about is death. I said, yes, they're getting to that age. They're losing their friends, and so they are concerned about it. However, there are other questions you might sit and want to talk to them about. What was it like in the 40s and 50s? Did you grow up in the 60s? Were you a hippie? Yeah. We can learn to talk to one another. What are the questions we ask? Are we ready to go into assisted living? What does that look for like you? Are you concerned about losing your memory? We talk about that frequently. In fact, we have a thing going on at our house. If you forgot something, you get a ticket. She's out. I've got more tickets than her, I think. And homelessness. What do you say to a homeless? How did you get here? How are you going to get out of here? Do you want to stay here? Is this tiny house worth your time and trouble? Wheelchair users. Do you quickly jump in to push somebody? How do you ask to assist somebody? This one intrigues me. Muslims. How do you talk to a Muslim? Why do you wear those headscarf? What is the religious purpose? And if you pray 3 times daily, and you don't face Mecca, are you in trouble? Some good questions. And then the last one that I took down, and there are at least a dozen more that I did not write down, is indigenous. Do we call you Indians? Where did you move from? Do you still live here? Are you angry at the white men still? If I asked too many questions, would you scalp me? And so with that, I would like to leave you with this story I heard this week. And you can all relate to this. A son took his father to a restaurant to enjoy a delicious meal. Now, his father was quite old, and therefore a little weak, maybe a little on the unshaky side. But while they were eating, food occasionally dropped from his father's hands onto his pants and onto his shirt. And the guests around him just look at the old man, and they would contort their face in frowns and disgust. But the son remained calm. After they had both finished eating, the son quickly helped his father up and took him to the toilet. He cleaned food scraps from his old wrinkled face and attempted to wash food stains from his clothing. Graciously, he combed the gray hair and finally put on his glasses. As he left the bathroom, silence filled the restaurant. The son was ready to go pay for the bill. Before he did that, another old man stood up and asked the old man's son, "Don't you think you forgot something?" The young man replied, looking around, trying to decide, did I leave a wallet? My father's here beside me. No, I don't think I left anything. Then the stranger said to him, "You left a lesson here for every son and hope for every father." The whole restaurant was quiet. You could hear a pin drop. They were waiting. One of the greatest honors that exist is being able to take care of those who have taken care of us. Our parents, all those elderly who have suffered in their lives, with all their time, money, talents, and efforts for us. We deserve their utmost respect. And so I say to you, I want to say, start a New Year's resolution besides having fun. I want to say thank you. Thank you for all the praises and all the stuff you've said to me this year. I really do appreciate it. And I appreciate everything that you have said to me. For I encourage you, if it's not this New Year's resolution, one close to it. Make kindness a habit. It improves your health. It improves your awareness, and you connect with family. I hope this will be your New Year's resolution, because I want to say special thanks to Peggy. All the little things she does every day that I don't say thank you for. So thank you for that. And so, like God said, Happy New Year to one and all. Go and be prosperous. Bless you all.